And then the final thing that rest does is that it brings blessing. There's so many verses where it talks about how if you Sabbath, then this will happen. If you Sabbath, then this will happen. And I love what he says in Jeremiah 17:24 and 25. It says, "But if you listen to me, declares the Lord, and bring in no burden by the gates of this city on the Sabbath day, but keep the Sabbath holy and do not work on it, then there shall enter by the gates of this city kings and princes who will sit on the throne of David." So basically saying that you will have a long lineage in that village, in that state. Like you will be able to prosper long, right? Because that essentially is saying that whenever there's turbulence or anything like that, there's fighting, then there's always a new king, right? Some king rises up and kills somebody else and does the thing, right? But what this is saying is that you will sit on the throne. There will be continual kings and princes coming that are on the same that are from the same family, meaning that there's going to be stability in the land. Then it says, riding in chariots and on horses, and they and their officials, the men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And this city shall be inhabited forever. So if you know kind of like the story of Jeremiah in general, there is this, it talks about how the people of Israel disobeyed God, and this prophecy is basically saying because you disobey God, you're going to go out into exile. But if you don't disobey God, you won't. This is part of the if you don't disobey God, you won't. And this is where God is like laying out, hey, if you keep my Sabbath, then this is the good that's going to happen. You're going to have stability in your land. You're not going to be taken out into exile, into slavery. You won't be a slave to all the things of this world, right? If you follow after the Sabbath and you do all the things that you agreed to when you made it a covenant with him, because Israel actually made a covenant with God saying we will do these things, and we understand that if we don't, this is what's going to happen, right? And Jeremiah is talking about how the Israelites disobeyed that. That is really like a really cool metaphor for our own life. Like if you know Jesus, if that's who you profess to follow, right? You made a covenant with him. And when you make that covenant, you are guaranteeing that you will be well. Bad things will happen, but you will be well, right? And when we disobey that covenant, then we're open to all the things that could happen without God's protection, right? So that's a whole. I could talk about this all day. Like I truly find or believe that there's so much in rest